Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is Sunday, March 13th, I think it is, 2016, and my name is Leslie Williams. This video, pardon me. I just sat down, I just got back from Walmart, and I had to spend $166 today at Walmart getting a few things, that I needed. But most of the money went to replacing property that was stolen from me by San Diego Park Rangers in Rose Canyon, pertaining to some events that have transpired since May 2015 concerning me being physically there in that canyon at times, and property that was stolen that I hid in Rose Canyon, and that was stolen by them in May of 2015. On several occasions they said that all you got to do is come back and get it. All you got to do is call first, though. You call, you leave a message, they don't return your call. You email them, they don't return your emails. Then as a direct result of in-your-face, flat-out perjury that was stated on the stand by them at the evidentiary hearing on November 16, 2015, I was banned from Rose Canyon, meaning that I can't go back to get any property, the other property that was hidden there. So I've had to replace it. Now, go to Google and type in UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? Research it slowly and meticulously, cross-reference the information that's in it, to the evidence, to the participants, to the locations. And you will see that I have indisputably proven that I am a victim of this crime. You will literally witness in your face, flat out, black and white, in your lap, jaw-dropping evidence that I'm not only a victim of this crime, but the collusion of law enforcement, prosecutors, public defenders, and just, oh my God, you just would not believe what I have experienced. You just would not believe it. So that's why I make these videos, to inform, to expose the truth. Sorry. You know, I can't help laughing at some of my videos because, in a sense, I can't believe this crime is even happening to me to begin with. Hold on. And I think it's just my... Hold on a second. Let me adjust this camera a little bit so you can see me a little better. You know, I think sometimes when we are faced with overwhelming situations and overwhelming circumstances, overwhelming victimization, I think what the mind tends to do is to deal with it the best way that it can. And sometimes a person will even laugh as they're experiencing the aforementioned or whatever, because I don't know how to state it, you know. I think it's just the mind and body's way of letting go for a moment, you know. But anyway, so I think maybe that's why sometimes I laugh in my videos. Hold on. I just got to this area. I did, so today I bought some things that I needed to buy as a grab-and-go kit that I can also carry along with me with my other stuff that I got to carry with me every day. I've been made homeless as a result of being a victim of this crime, and that was actually part of the thing that compelled me today to make this additional video. Let me take a puff of my cigarette real fast. Fellow American citizens, you know, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't sleep around, I don't steal, I'm not a threat to myself or others, and I'm not mentally ill. But believe it or not, these are literally just some of the types of labels and descriptions that they attempt to put on organized stalking, gang stalking, target individuals in reference to law enforcement's information sheets, incident reports, and police reports whenever they come in physical contact with the target. Doctors will also do this to a target. All these descriptions can be Googled, okay, in reference to the descriptions of participants and techniques. Judges will, public defenders will, prosecutors will, DA's office members will, you name it. Anything that's got to do with the court system, psychologists, doctors in area neighborhood hospitals, county mental health administrators. It's organized crime in the system, baby cakes. It's a syndicate. at the federal, state, and local level, and they do have connected individuals in every type of description that you can think of related to what's out and about in the community. Universities, businesses, public libraries, hospitals, psychiatric floors, detention centers, jails, prisons. Now, if you see me turn my head in this video, is because I have to be attentive to some of the things that are going on around me. The landscape I'm in right now, sometimes when it gets windy out, things fall from the trees, but I have to make sure that it's not anybody approaching any area around me. So I got to be attentive to it. I've been assaulted 7 times as a result of being a victim of this crime. Some of those assaults are in that blog that I described. Hold on. It's titled, hold on. So, when I was at Walmart today, you know, and I'm spending this money, money that could have went for food, money that could have went for other things that would assist the person in their daily survival, you know, food, clothes, medicine, health and beauty, whatever. And I had to spend the money to replace property that was intentionally, deliberately. Let me tell you let me tell you about how they stole property of mine in Rose Canyon, pertaining to what they stole in May of 2015. That property was so cleverly hidden. Okay, there would have been no way at all whatsoever that they would have known that property was there unless they seen it being hidden. Okay, through either technological resources or covert physical surveillance, because of the way that it was hidden and where it was hidden at. And when they came and got it, they specifically went for that property and left the non-essentials alone that was hidden at other spots, that were actually hidden in ways to where those locations should have actually been the more normal appearing places that a person would look for things hidden at. In other words, where the stuff they stole, which included also evidence, okay, was hidden in such a way to where it would have been completely unusual, peculiar, and absolutely inappropriate for somebody to look in the spots that they took the property from. So they knew it was there. It was targeted theft. It had intention. So, and believe me, I have never lied in any of my videos. I have never lied in my blog. I have never lied in my tweets. I've never lied in my email files. Fellow American citizens, basically what I'm exposing today is going to try and give you a visual representation pertaining to the factual realities, truth, concerning what has happened to me, and you would not believe what I know. You just would not believe it. Hold on. They even went as far in Michigan as stealing my dentures. Literally. That is the absolute truth. They literally came to my camping area. I waited months to get those dentures. Went through hell to get them fitted, to have the teeth pulled. And as soon as I got them, they weren't completely fitted yet. The dentist told me to take them, put them in my mouth to get the plate part of it accustomed to my jaw, and then for me to go back and tell him how well they were fitting. But they became so uncomfortable, I would take them out when I would not, use them during those moments, so I could kind of like deliberate how well they fit in my mouth. And I didn't want to carry them around in my backpack and duffel bag because they were stealing my stuff through assaults and robberies in Michigan. Okay? Plus I was concerned about them being broken and stuff. I should have bought a soap dish or something and put them in it. But they were actually too big for that. So I'm thinking, well, if I just hide them really well in my camping area, they should be okay until my next dentist appointment. They literally came down in my camping area and stole my dentures. Literally. Okay? That's the truth. They also entered one of my apartments in Michigan and poisoned my cat Higgins. I had her for 16 years. Now, again, remember, all my descriptions can be Googled and YouTube when appropriate. So they made me homeless in Michigan, and I thought to myself, I can't survive in Michigan any longer, sleeping in 30-degree below weather, especially during rainstorms, ice rainstorms, massive snow on the ground. Do you have any idea what it's like to change your clothes in a tent in 30-degree below weather? Okay. So I said, screw it, I'm going to come to San Diego. But first, what I was going to do was go to Connecticut and try to hook up with the founder of the website Freedomfightersforamerica, Chris Zucker. So I went from Michigan to Connecticut, and the only bus transportation reference to Greyhound and Amtrak that would get me as close to Ridgefield, concerning where he lives, would be the closest community, the closest town that I could get to using Amtrak and Greyhound was Stanford. And then I figured once I got out there, maybe I could find some local bus services. Well, before I could get that even started, the massive gang stalking occurred towards me in Connecticut. Now, they were ascertaining where I was going from Michigan to Connecticut through cyber surveillance at U of M in Dearborn, Michigan, through in U of M in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and at Henry Ford Centennial Library in Dearborn, Michigan, and through cyber surveillance at the Bloomfield Hills Public Library in Michigan. So they seen my travel plans, and basically what they did was they just connected with the syndicate in Connecticut from Michigan. It's a nationwide syndicate. There's two main one, it appears. There's a manifesto that's on the internet right now that a manager of GangStalking wrote. I guess the person wrote it offline, went to an internet cafe, and then published it on the internet. And this manifesto states that there's two main syndicates that are up and operating in the United States that are controlling the whole gang stalking in the United States. I personally believe it's more. Probably more competition is out there, but I'm just basically regurgitating to you what the manifesto states. Now, you can find this manifesto by going to Google and typing in, hold on, by typing in at Google a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know, and you'll find it. It might take you 5 minutes, it might take you 10, 15, maybe a half hour, but you'll find the link, trust me. Now, through its extremely extensive experience and exhaustive research, I have looked at that manifesto. Now, when you take knowledge, which is data based on facts, okay, that has come from the research, and you cross-reference it and fold it onto the experience, I have no doubt in my mind at all that that manifesto is true, but it is not the entire scope of this crime, so make no mistake about it. So you can research that manifesto, print it out, and then cross-reference what you find through research concerning this crime, and you will come to understand that that manifesto is the truth. But again, make no mistake about it, it's not the only thing that gang stalking is involved in. They're involved in every type of crime motivation that your mind can conceive and cannot. Hold on. I strongly suggest that you pay close attention to how targets are also considered as lab rats, mentioned in the manifesto. This is where the non-consensual military human experimentation comes into play at, and there's also human research that is happening to gang stalking victims that more than likely has nothing to do with the military as well. So you can also go to Google and type in non-consensual human experimentation in gang stalking and or organized stalking, and non-consensual military human experimentation DARPA in gang stalking. Fellow American citizens, also go to Google and type in illegal GPS tracking of a target's cell phone and gang stalking, including using the target's cell phone as a microphone. Even when the battery's out, even when the phone is turned off. They can also use it as a microphone, a GPS tracker, and they can hack into the camera for surveillance purposes, including recording everything you're stating. Every single time that I have looked up lawyers and law firms online, I have either been arrested, ticketed, assaulted, and or forced to move. Now, how do you think they're doing that? Hold on. Through the in real time, at all times, covert physical GPS tracking of the target's cell phone, and they can even use the target's computer as a GPS tracker because it's emitting a frequency even when it's off, RF filtering. Okay, and then you got the covert physical surveillance. Through these just aforementioned descriptions, okay, they know where that target's at all times in real time down to the foot. And that's how they know where the target's at, so they can stage arrest, normal appearing physical interactions with the corrupt law enforcement they're using, because once they create the homelessness, they know that a human being's got to sleep. Think about it this way. How do you think they're creating the homelessness unless they know where the target individual is staying at in reference to a motel room or an apartment or a house? How do you think that they can conclude privately, covertly with landlords and property owners if they don't know where the target's at? So that should right there should tell you that they're illegally GPS tracking the target to their homes, where they live. So do you honestly think they're not doing that in reference to a target's hiking area where they go to sleep at? Of course they are. And then they just basically sprinkle the staged events with normal appearing things that will bring law enforcement to that target individual's physical proximity where they're at. Law enforcement will state that they were looking for somebody that was supposedly spotted in the area, and then they'll act like they're stumbling across the target, including, especially when it comes to a target that they know is wearing a tape recorder. Now they know that through, go to Google and type in how they can monitor the purchases of a target. Well, do you think I got this out of thin air? This is where the businesses can be involved in gang stalking. But they can also, they also will share information concerning, like if I've ever told, which I have, police officers as they've been in my physical presence that they're being taped, including campus police officers, okay, then they are sharing that information with each other. They'll lie about it and call me crazy concerning it. Okay, so they will have a scripted, they'll script what they're going to say verbally before they ever enter a target individual's physical proximity in order to make it appear that they're in the target's physical proximity for normal appearing reasons and or excuses. The target was seen at the hiking area, the target was heard, the target's property was seen, the target was seen going in or coming out. They were in, the law enforcement was in the area because they were searching for somebody else or just doing a property sweep. They will do anything and everything to make it appear that they have a normal, legitimate appearing reason and or excuse to know where that target's at, so the target can be set up to be arrested, ticketed, and then the courts are used, public defenders and prosecutors. Make no mistake about it, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Or they'll use homeless people, social deviants, alcoholics, drug addicts to assault the target or intimidate the target that they're going to be assaulted or that their property will be stolen, in order to bring about an event that can be so loud that a then propped up second or third party will call the police, or the assault will be so bad the target will call the police. But before the police arrive, they will magically let the assailant get away, or they'll stage a fake arrest of them to make it appear that everything was handled legitimately. Fellow American citizens, these are the schemes of gang stalking. Actually, what they are methods and tactics and maneuvers brought about through the illegal GPS tracking, which is the stalking of gang stalking. But the scheme is the criminal motivation, using the courts to bring that targeted individual closer to the exploitation, which was the reason why the target was targeted to begin with. Illegal probate control, by claiming the target's mentally ill because they're claiming they're being stalked by people they don't know. Claiming the target can't take care of themselves because they're homeless and won't get out of it, even though they've been offered services, even though they know that the target won't take those services, because every single service that they offer the target will be to environments that the target's already got experience in being gang stalked at, like homeless shelters, churches, charities, self-help groups, whatever. They'll even claim the target's a drug addict when they're not, and try and petition the court to make them go to self-help groups. They're filthy, lying, criminal maggots. They're using the system to perpetrate these crimes and to protect them, to make money off of the target in any and every way that you can think of. Whenever an individual has been made a ward of the state and put in a group home, okay, the individuals that run the homes, that own the homes, are directly connected to the crime syndicates that are perpetrating the gang stalking, using the law enforcement combined with corrupt and organized crime member prosecutors and public defenders and judges to make the target a ward of the state. And then once the target is put in these homes, federal and state funds are applied for in that target's name, insurances, and the target is human trafficked. And the research, if that's happening to the target, will continue as well. And the gang stalking, you better believe, continues. Now, they also get the probate control through the falsified information sheets, incident reports, and police reports, and the falsified documentation from the psychologist and psychiatrist. You know, I strongly suggest you research what's happening to Connie Marshall. Okay, she's a Kentucky gang stalking target. She's a whistleblower. Every single thing that comes out of that woman's mouth is the absolute complete truth. So if you go and watch her videos and you Google her too, because she's got a pretty good website, research what she's stating she's experiencing. And you'll see she's telling you the truth, because what she's stating is all over the internet. As bizarre as some of it sounds, research it. You know, fellow American citizens, the system knows that the average American is living paycheck to paycheck. So if you got a corrupt cop who arrests you and takes you before, and the ticket takes you before a public defender and a prosecutor who ain't nothing but a bunch of filthy, maggot, criminally insane people, they're connected to the syndicate. Okay? They're using their employment descriptions to pipeline the target closer to the probate control. It's the purpose of the homelessness being created. They're schemes. Then how can you or me or anybody else get help when these filthy maggots are in the employment descriptions we should be able to run to for help? Does this sound like I'm being gang stalked to you? Listen to this as soon as it comes up. I want you to listen to this. That occurred in La Jolla. This audio file was played to at least 9 to 12 different San Diego police officers and UCSD police. They all denied hearing these men say these things. This occurred 11 months before on a Yucca Valley bus route Landers in Yucca Valley, California, which is 160 miles away from La Jolla. Plopping up lowlifes and social deviants to say gang stalk, gang stalking, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, suck my dick, gang stalk, crazy, gang stalk, weird. Okay, is there a way to intentionally, mentally let me know that is there a way to intentionally keep me in a constant mental loop about being a victim of this crime by literally repeating the name of it in specific, identical to a T ways every day, everywhere I go? They got to know where I'm at and who I am to do it. That proves right there the illegal GPS tracking, and that is the main reason why the police won't make a police report concerning it. They literally sent over 39 text messages to my older phone, the one that I just stopped using in January 2016. Okay, literally stating, gang stalking, gang stalk, be nice. And a bunch, literally stating we're sending the police to your hiking area. So go to that blog, because snap screenshots of these text messages and video files of them are in that blog as well. They even sent me 3 letters in the mail. The police refused to investigate any of it. So go to Google and type in police and gang stalking. See, they're using the homelessness as a control mechanism, and they're achieving what they want to achieve through the GPS tracking, leaving me in the constant victimization continually every day of this crime. Every single time I've been in the San Diego courthouse, these words and phrases have been said around me repetitively and constantly. They've even been caught being said by San Diego prosecutors and public defenders, while my current public defender at that time was standing 1 foot away from them, with them, laughing. Caught on audio, uploaded to YouTube. That YouTube video is in the blog. Now, fellow American citizens, how do you think that somebody who's been made homeless, who's being tracked in real time every day to be assaulted, harassed, ticketed, arrested, threatened, forced to live in psychological fear about what's going to happen to me today after 7 assaults and arrests and tickets, yet they won't investigate what's happening to me? And what's happening to me created the homelessness of me. And by the way they created the homelessness of me was a federal offense. They literally stole my rent out of the mail that was mailed, certified mail return receipt, through the United States Postal Service. And the rent itself was a $410 money order that I bought from the post office. So why won't the federal government investigate that? Because they're filthy, criminal, maggot, rat-ass animal whores. That's why. Go to Google and type in postal workers and gang stalking, mail theft and mail delayment and gang stalking. So, basically what I'm doing in this video is just mostly regurgitating some of the things that I've stated in my other videos. Hold on. And I'm doing this to keep you up to date about my experiences, so you can see what's happening to me, so you can know what is happening to target individuals out there who don't have the money to feed themselves, to pay for bus fare, to pay for clothes, okay, to pay for food, to pay for a video camera or a tape recorder. Innocent people being made homeless and victimized in some of the most worst ways that your mind can conceive and cannot, who don't have a voice. Who don't have a voice. I'm a person just like you. Just like you. You know? And some of the most sickest things about this crime is that when I go to make, like the other day, I made a purchase, I think it was for $60. I ended up having to pay over $6 in taxes just in one purchase. One purchase. That fucking money is going to pay for these law enforcement fucking, I usually don't swear, I honestly don't. If you watch enough of my videos, I'd say out of it, there's at least 3,000 videos of mine on the internet. You probably only hear me swearing about 2%. Okay, but how would you feel if some criminal asshole came into your home, took your wallet off your kitchen counter, opened it up, took money out of it, and then used that money to victimize you? Law enforcement, DA's office, prosecutors, public defenders, all of these little criminal maggots get paid for everything they got. They get through their paychecks, which are supported by us. Would you pay somebody to rob you? Would you pay somebody to rape you? Would you literally physically rape you? Would you pay somebody to make you homeless? Would you pay somebody to steal your property? Would you pay somebody to take your freedom away from you by claiming you're mentally ill or a threat to yourself or others, so you can be put in a home that is run by the worst of the worst, so they can exploit you in every way that your mind can conceive and cannot? Do you think you would not have a few choice words to state in a video concerning it? Of course you would. Every fucking day I gotta live like this because of these sick, twisted mega rats. Jan Goldsmith from the San Diego Prosecutor's Office ain't nothing but a fucking criminal. That low-life motherfucker ain't nothing but a criminal. His ass, he is, oh my god, he's being sued right now, still, through the California Family Coalition, who's went through hundreds of thousands of dollars in defending themselves because of his sick criminal ass. And Bonnie Damascus, the San Diego DA, a joke. A fucking bitch ain't nothing but a joke. Okay. So anyways, my name is Leslie Williams. You know, I'm doing the best I can to survive. I gotta live in constant fear every day about, am I gonna be assaulted today? Am I gonna be arrested for illegal lodging, illegal encroachment, trespassing by the same filthy, criminal, maggot, rat-ass animal whores who approached me at my hiking area in 2006 after concerning a staged event that they brought about towards me. And as a result of that event, I experienced criminalities that you just would not believe. You just would not believe. SDPD. Now, if the truth of the matter ever got presented in court, the county of San Diego would lose millions. Make no mistake about it. If you knew what I know, you would. I mean, look at all the money that these sexual harassment victims got because of these recent San Diego police officers that lost their job because of sexual harassment on the job. Well, you would not believe what has happened to me. You just would not believe it. You just would not believe it. Now I'm going to get into some technical things that are going to blow your mind, but if you research what I'm stating, you'll see I'm telling you what. Because I have to state what I'm stating carefully. Let me light this cigarette before I move forward. I did some research on the internet concerning some of the aspects of the non-consensual human experimentation that target individuals are claiming their experience, and I have to say claiming because Go to YouTube and type in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues. You're going to hear him talk about neurocognitive weapons and brain entrainment. Now, when you bring that whole video up by typing in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues and you listen to what he has to say, go to the YouTube videos that are to the right at the column that come up once you bring that video up and watch them all. If you watch enough of them, you'll at least hear stalking, you'll at least hear gang stalking and organized stalking being mentioned. Also go to YouTube and type in United Targeted Individuals Europe Extended Version. That's the name of the title. I'll say it again. United Targeted Individuals Europe Extended Version. Why do you notice stalking in that video? And there are USA victims in that video as well. Because these criminalities are going on internationally as well. So, also go to YouTube and type in John Hall Satellite Terrorism, and he is in the Stalked in San Antonio YouTube video that is in my blog in reference to that being a news broadcast. Now, when you research that aspect of my blog, look at what comes up. The PDF link that's right below it or above it. That's got to do with me. And John Hall's all over the internet exposing remote neural monitoring, the microwave hearing effect, B2K. Now, hold on. I read a blog one time about how the you can also go to Google and type in Mike Fitzhughbell. I'll say it again. Go to Google and type in the invisible crime, spacebar, Mike Fitzhughbell, space, the invisible crime, space, okay, and he'll have his website, and he's also been on Coast to Coast AM radio show on Valentine's Day 2013. I'm not sure if you're gonna, a link of that broadcast is in my blog, but it might have been taken off because of copyright, okay, but research him. Now, on the front cover of the book, The Invisible Crime, has got a human being's head with a neural implant right in the middle of it. And this has to do with the non-consensual human experimentation that's happening to gang stalking victims. Google that and you'll see what's coming up. David Larson is another one that you want to, in fact, go to YouTube. Hold on. Go to YouTube and type this title in the way I tell you to. You ready? 5-22-11 space David Larson space James Lambert down the rabbit hole. It's a Federal Jack YouTube video. It's actually James Lambert. I'm sorry. It's actually James Walbert, but they spelled his name wrong in the title of the YouTube video. Listen to that video. Gang stalking's all over it. Then go to Google and type in David Larson space implants gang stalking. Do it. So why did I bring all that up? Hang on. The reason why I brought that up is because when you have victims being tortured, oh, hold it. Also go to Google and YouTube and type in Robert Duncan. Okay. Human experimentation, Robert Duncan, gang stalking, bring up his videos. He was on the Jesse Ventura show, Brain Invaders. Okay, now you can, when you watch that show at YouTube, type in the Brain Invaders Jesse Ventura, you're gonna see the victims in that YouTube video. It was a I forgot the name of the show, Conspiracy Theory. It was actually on national TV. When you see the individuals being presented in that YouTube video, which is actually a copy of the TV broadcast, you're going to see the individuals that are being victims of this crime being referred to as targeted individuals. So go to Google and type in gang stalking targeted individuals. That's just another name for gang stalking victims. Hold on. Absolutely. And you'll notice San Diego being mentioned many times in that national TV show. Now, fellow American citizens, I read this blog one time about, I saved it in one of my older YouTube Gmail accounts, but I read this blog one time about how one of the ways that you can tell if a person's possibly neurally implanted is that we're close by where the implants are as a result of them being accessed through the radio frequencies the hair on the head that's real close to where the implants are is either extremely gray, white, or silver. Check it out. I just recently got a haircut. Like my hair? Why am I feeling extremely sharp, dull-like pains in both of my ears? Do you understand? Now, when you listen to Robert Duncan, he's flat out calling it torture because of the neurological access concerning human experimentation. So if the government, including the military, who's all over the internet, being extremely strongly implicated in being a part of this, along with universities for the research, they know what they're doing is past the felony extreme. Massive human rights violations, because the implantation alone is massive human rights violations, massive felonies, and the research they're doing includes torture. So do you honestly think for 1 second that any part of the government, okay, wants to be implicated, not only just implicated, but proven guilty in court concerning what they're doing to the victims of gang stalking? If they're doing it, I gotta say it carefully. Okay, so the point being is that when you research what I'm stating, you can easily see how when they create the homelessness of a person in order to use it as a control mechanism for the exploitation and to keep the target in control in case they ever get too much evidence and or become too much of a problem for them, the homeless is then used as a normal appearing excuse to bring the target before the court, to put them in an isolated environment so the crime can continue and so the target can be physically isolated in a place to where they never get no help. Do you understand? When the government commits a crime against you and then uses the system to protect itself, how can you get help? Especially if practically every American is 3 paychecks away from being homeless. In order to get help, you gotta have a lawyer. And public defenders and prosecutors ain't nothing but a bunch of paid whores. So how are you gonna get help? You can't afford an attorney. And even if you can afford an attorney, they're smart enough to know that the government will spend you to death. And then still find the evidence as inconclusive. Google how many people have filed lawsuits and lost. Alright, so you can also go to Google and type in stopthecrime.net. They also got a YouTube channel. Okay, there's a YouTube video they got online right now called Wires in the Brain, Deborah Tavares. Stopthecrime.net. You can also go to Google and type in bugsweep.com. You can also go to Google and type in United Target Individuals Europe. So, fellow American citizens, what I'm doing is exposing to you things that you can research on the internet. And so you can know truth. I guess that's the only way that you can say it. Alright, I gotta go through my stuff. I went through thousands. I can't say how many thousands of dollars I went through, because if I do, the government will say, well, Leslie's not spending her money right because she thinks that she's losing her property because of gang stalking. She thinks she's homeless because of gang stalking. And all this amount of money she says she's went through because of a crime that we're saying stems from a delusion, which is literally some of the types of mental diagnosis that they put on targets in order to discredit the target for the probate control and to discredit the target because of the truth they're telling, is another reason they claim that they have a legitimate normal appearing reason to take legal custody of them, because they'll claim that the target can't handle their finances. So I got to be careful about what I state. These are filthy, criminal, maggot, sewer rat whores, and that's all they are. Period. Organized crime in the system at every level. And you know what they do when they bring a target before the court, including just for an illegal lodging ticket? The little skanked out sheriff who sits in the courtroom and has got an earbud in his ear. Is anybody communicating with them concerning the target? About when the target's got to leave the courtroom? The muscle is what I'm saying. Paid soldiers. We don't have a chance. So, it is what it is. So please say a prayer for my safety. You know, these Wall Street motherfuckers get away with so much. Stole billions of dollars from taxpayers, then turned around and got bailed out by the taxpayers, walked away scot-free, but if a homeless person walks into a grocery store and steals a loaf of bread, they're arrested and put in jail for 90 days. What does it tell you about our system? It's fucked up. Alright, I gotta go. Oh, they're targeting the elderly like you would not believe. They're targeting the elderly, disabled people, single women like you would not believe. Human trafficking. Okay. So, fellow American citizens, always know the truth concerning what I've stated in this video, every syllable of it. Okay, and research it. I made this video because I wanted you to know these crimes are happening in every neighborhood, town, city, county, and state in the United States. What do you think is happening to the children of targets? Foster care for federal funds. While they try to make the mother into a prostitute, and then maybe eventually try to make her a ward of the state by claiming she can't take care of herself. You understand? And make no mistake about it, the human trafficking will continue of her once they get the probate control. Alright, I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video because I got the right to expose the truth about what's happening. I gotta go. Thanks for listening. Have a good day, okay?